Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Transformational Storytellers show. I am so excited to be here with you today. It is July 9th, and it's a beautiful day, very, very sunny and very hot. Summertime in Texas, as you can imagine. And today we have another amazing guest with us. I am really, really happy to introduce Todd Krause to you. He's the owner of the Cleaning Authority in Fishers, Indiana. He's amazing. And he's going to share with us just all of the techniques that he shares about how he grew his business from 1.8 million to over 4 million in revenue with a diverse team. Yes, you heard it right. And this month of July is Minority Mental Health Month, BIPOC Mental Health Month. So it's very relevant that we're talking to someone who supports diversity. And he's an author. His book is amazing. He's also an author of The Gifts of Pain. You guessed it. That's why we're here. He's a keynote speaker and he speaks to corporations so that they can duplicate the results that he was able to achieve. He's also an advocate for uplift of listen to this word, uplifting uplifting, mentoring, and changing lives for the better in his community. And I know that to be true because he's a man after my own heart. He's really amazingly driven by his heart, by impact, and by influence that is genuine and loving and caring. Todd is committing to restoring the human element in business, building caring, culturally competent workplaces where people thrive. Not only leaders, but employees and everyone in the workplace where customers feel the difference and owners reclaim real freedom. His chapter in The Gifts of Pain is called From Lost to Found. Welcome, Todd.
Well, thank you, Alina. It's a real honor to be on your show.
Oh my goodness, the honor is mine. I just really am excited to talk to you about the Gifts of Pain chapter, but also about everything that you do in the world, which I deeply respect and admire. And I also am going to share all of your contact information so that people can connect with you in the show notes because you are someone worth knowing and following and also booking. If you're looking for a speaker, look no further, okay? Make sure you talk to Todd. But let's talk about your transformational story because this is a transformational storyteller show. And so we lead with the story first. And I know that you are going to read the From Lost to Found chapter. This is volume 3, everybody. And Todd is featured in this book and he's going to share the story so we can kick it off that way.
Okay. To set the stage a little bit, this time in my life was March and April of 2020 during the pandemic. So here's how my chapter reads. I was down on myself and my life. I wanted my life and my struggles with chronic immune deficiencies and autoimmune illnesses to have greater meaning. I was searching for a job, but more importantly, I was searching for myself. Within 2 weeks of starting my search, I stumbled upon a listing on a business broker website. The Cleaning Authority in Fishers, Indiana was available for sale. I purchased this franchise to pay my bills and was determined to grow it. As I expected, based on my skills and know-how, my business doubled in size in 2.5 years and continued to grow. I got to know my Hispanic managers and cleaners on a personal level. They welcomed me into their world with open arms and called me Jefe, and said, "You're family now." Gradually, I noticed myself making efforts to create a meaningful impact on the lives of my managers, cleaners, and customers, changing their lives for the better. Looking closer, I discovered that the true impact came from my deep sense of caring for the people around me and their well-being. I found meaning. I learned how mutually beneficial a strong community inside a business is to the well-being of the world in which it operates. It contributes so much to the growth, health, and purpose of the company. This discovery led me to a mission to develop community everywhere I can and to teach other business owners to do the same. I empower them to create strong communities within their businesses, mutually benefiting them and our society. Creating strong communities is a win-win-win-win for business owners, employees, customers, and society where they operate.
I was muted, but oh my gosh, wow, that is amazing. By the way, your story is really deeply sad. I mean, when we're thinking about going through that time, I mean, 2020 wasn't easy for anyone, but feeling so lost because you really had felt like you couldn't find a job, but also going through all of that, all of that illness, and that is can be really demoralizing, and I'm sure everyone can relate to the pain of not knowing sometimes where we're standing or what the next step is. But I want to tell you that when you said Jefe, it put a big smile on my face. I just couldn't help it. It was just automatic. And I love how you talk about that deep caring that you had and how that sense of family was a collaboration that started with your genuine deep care. And so I love that you share that. And your story is really deeply inspiring. And I received a lot of comments because I carry the gifts of pains with me every time I have a live keynote, which is kind of often. And so a lot of people comment on how not only they feel seen by you talking about invisible pain, invisible body illness, and but also how your tips for creating a business are just so crucial and essential. But before we talk about your business, I would love for you to share with us, why do you think that telling your story is important? Why do you think that you decided to share your story? Because I know that you also have your book. I don't know if you have a copy that you can share everyone, but I will definitely put a link in the chat. Why do you think that it's important and essential to share stories of this type?
For several reasons. People look at somebody who's achieved a level of success and somehow think that they're superhuman, and they think that they don't have problems, or sometimes they think, oh well, maybe they came from wealth and somebody just opened doors for them. So when we share our stories, we show them that we're human just like them, and we have the same problems and pain that they have, and that what's happened to us is achievable for other people too. And the other thing, especially when you have illnesses and that, it it, it helps humanize you and open a door to connection, and it helps other people with their own problems look at themselves and say, I'm okay. I've got challenges, but I can achieve things in my life, and all I have to do is work toward my goals, is what it literally does. It gives them a roadmap There's a third reason for sharing stories.
Yeah, those are really powerful. And I love how you mentioned that because the human part of business sometimes is missing. And so that's a really wonderful segue for telling our audience about what you do. And before you tell us a little bit about why you love to do what you do and why it's something that makes a difference in the world, I would like to plug your TEDx talk. So everyone, if you want to see Todd being really vulnerable and sharing his story on the stage, you can search his name on the TEDx channel and see his short and powerful and dynamic TEDx talk that he delivered here in Texas. So tell us about your work, Todd.
Well, in addition to growing the cleaning company, where we have a diverse group of people here from 14 different countries. And we've got the flags for each of those countries up in our entranceway. The other thing that I'm doing is to take the message out to business owners and to the world around us is through Silver Sun Consulting. It has two sides to it. I teach it from the stage in through keynote speeches and presentations to larger groups, or I work more closely with business owners and business leaders in either one-on-one or small group settings through a more consultative approach. But it's the same message about how human dignity and caring about the people who are part of an organization is not in conflict with the goals of an organization achieving profitability, growing. In fact, both of them, when they're connected together properly, really do accelerate the growth and success of an organization.
Yeah, I love that. That is amazing. And so, what kind of audiences do you speak to? What is your ideal fit for sharing your workshops and presentations and keynotes?
On the keynote side and the presentations, I've focused very, very heavily on the local chambers, the Rotary clubs, the local business associations and organizations. On the consulting side, I've focused very heavily on the small to medium-sized businesses. They really do employ the vast majority of our workforce in the United States here and in the world.
Yeah.
Most of us work for businesses that only have maybe 20 people working there.
Yeah, absolutely. And what are the problems that they're facing that you help them with?
Typically, they'll come to me and they'll say things like, I'm not growing and I don't know why. Or they'll say, I can't find good staff and I don't know what to do. A
Mm,
third and somewhat less common bucket is they'll come and say, we've got operational problems and we don't know how to fix them. We have high turnover with our customers, we have high turnover with our staff, and we just can't seem to solve it.
wow.
So my approach is to go in and actually fix their business problems. At the same time, I'm layering on this cultural approach about how creating a caring, positive, culturally competent workplace is actually a very, very good thing for the business that goes a long way to solving its problems and accelerating its growth.
Yeah, I love that. And, just so that everyone has context as to how you're able to do this, would you tell us a little bit of the background and the experience? Because I want everyone to know Todd didn't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to do this consulting. There's a lot of years of experience. So tell us a little bit about that.
It is a lot. And when I added it up, I was a little bit surprised at how many. It's a big number and led me to say, am I really that old? But what really launched my career is I'd worked for 3 years for a large family office in Chicago. And I ended up working in the part of their office where we took care of all of their business ventures, oil and gas, real estate investments. But then that got me into this world of alternative investments, and that's hedge funds, private equity, venture capital. And that world is constantly creating businesses, or when they decide that an investment is no longer viable, they're liquidating it and selling it off. So I spent years literally helping create, set up, run, and then eventually liquidate businesses across many, many types of investments: oil, gas, bottled water vending, alarm vending, and more. But that's where I started seeing patterns.
Mm.
The ones that thrived did something different than the ones that struggled. The ones
Mm.
that thrived really valued and cared about the people who worked there. Whereas the businesses that struggled had very high turnover, people didn't feel seen or heard, let alone feeling valued.
Yeah.
And that's where I started saying, wait a minute, there's within the limits of our budget, we all have access to the same tools, technology, and AI, but what is it that can be the defining factor that makes the real difference? And it's how we treat our people. Do they just get the job done, or do they bring their heart to work and do it with real care and love and desire to do a good job that they're proud of?
Wow, that's so powerful. Such an easy shift. Simple. I would not say that it's easy, it's simple, but when you were talking about displaying all the flags, 14 flags, that's a lot. I was thinking about the World Cup and how what an environment that would be with 14 countries represented, and how that, is the epitome example of family. I really love that. And what would you say are some tips that you could give, just a few things, maybe three things that you could think about on ways to treat people better at work?
The biggest one is, I would say, stop doing what the world does and saying no and don't. That's what almost every sign around us tells us what not to do and what the consequences are if we do it. Flip it around. Tell your people what you need from them. Tell them what the customers are asking the business to deliver. And then show them what the rewards are when they do deliver that. And OMG, what an amazing transformation that'll be. And quickly, too, once people start actually receiving those rewards. And the other thing is, give people space to solve their own problems. Because when we hire people, we get the whole package. There's no such thing as leaving your personal life at the door when you get to work. People come with families, they come with cars that aren't reliable, they have their own problems, sometimes medical, sometimes other. But when we create some space for them to solve their own problems and support them,
Mm.
what we get in return is a committed, dedicated employee that will go beyond what we ask and go the extra mile for the business and for the customers. And then number three, celebrate the employees. They have things like birthdays and anniversaries and baby showers and things like that. That is just another way to show appreciation and the commitment you get back in return for that more than makes up for the effort or the time invested in doing that.
Oh, that's amazing. It's beautiful. I mean, I heard you say autonomy, celebration, and positive reinforcement. This is these are keys that can turn any business around. And so if you're listening or watching, whether you're live here right now, I can see Mohidin is watching and sharing lots of hearts with us and really enjoying the conversation. But wherever you are, try to think about ways that you can implement this in your own spaces, whether at work, at home, in your community. I think that Todd's wisdom and the experience and the expertise that he brings from for so many years can teach us to really bring a spirit of thriving into any space that we come into. I really appreciate that, Todd. And I know that we're almost out of time, but I really appreciate those tips that you've shared. And I wanted to ask you before we miss out on that opportunity. um, what do you think is one step that you would like our audience today, our online family, to implement after hearing your story today? I mean, we talked about invisible illness and chronic illness. We talked about feeling like you're lost in the world and you don't know what your next step is. We talked about taking your journey and expertise and creating something new and put love and care at the center of that. What is something that we can, and you can give us one for each, or whatever comes to your heart right now to share with everyone, so that we can start building in the way that you want us to.
Really, it's a matter of seeing the people around you, really seeing the person, who they are, where they come from, those differences, that diversity, all of that is actually something that strengthens us. Their backgrounds, whether they are highly educated with lots of initials after their name, or maybe they've learned all their skills on the job. See them as somebody that you value. That's really the starting point for these transformations.
I love it. I love it so much. And it's such a simple shift that we can all make everywhere we go. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience about the work that you do?
Well, my mission is to get this message out as broadly as possible and to make a difference for the people working for businesses, the people who right now in many businesses are feeling unseen, unheard, are even questioning if they're valued,
Hmm.
especially in a world where right now we're being told that AI is going to take all of our jobs away.
Yeah, yeah. Any thoughts on that particular topic?
We are going to find out that AI is another tool that we use to get work done. What we're going to find out in the long run is it's not the threat that it's made out to be. It will change how we do our jobs, and it will change some of the jobs that exist, but it's not going to take all of our jobs away from us.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for that reassurance. Thank you, everyone. I see all of you watching. I'm sure that you gained so much wisdom and so many tips from Todd, but there's more. You can go to his website that will be in the show notes and read some blog posts and see some other interviews that he's had, and also learn about Silver Sun Consulting and everything that he's doing there to help businesses thrive. Everyone in a business deserves to thrive, and that's what Todd helps you do to grow, to also make a difference in the world through your work. I appreciate you. I'm so glad that you overcame the 2020 crisis in every single way and to see you thriving. I'm very blessed to work with you. I'm very blessed to call you friend and to interview you today. And I think that's who you are to everyone who knows you is a friend. So Jefe, thank you for your time today.
Um,
And yeah.
Thank you, Elena. It's been a great experience being on your show.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm sure it's been a great experience for all of you watching. Thank you for tuning in. And I'll see you next Thursday. And remember to connect with Todd in the show notes. I love you. Bye bye.